Hi, thanks for joining us today. I'm Coach John, and this is Coach Roisin from the Achieve Running Club. This is our second episode of Believe and Achieve, and we're looking forward to bringing you a few topics that we've been posting about over the last few days, and that includes things like marathon preparation, because we've got Dublin and the Marine Corps marathons this weekend, so it's kind of really relevant at the minute. And we'll also talk about some of the enhancements and upcoming improvements on the Achieve Running Club website. And
we have a few questions at the end from some of our members that we want to address. And just to let you know that if you have any questions, we have a forum on the website and we'd be happy to hear from you and answer your questions. So feel free to go ahead with that if you have any queries.
Yeah, that's on the members profile page. And so, let's start. We'll kick it off with some of this marathon prep that we've been talking about. The Dublin is something near and dear to me. I've run Dublin Marathon 10 times. Well, I've actually run the course 8 times, and then we had 2 virtual marathons during the COVID period, but 8 official on the course Dublin marathons. I've never run the Marine Corps marathon, but it is on my list of things to do. So eventually, we have a Marine in the family, so
yes, we do.
so it is it's something I'd love to do. So this being a few days before the marathon, what do you do in the taper period, particularly the last week of the taper? So for me personally, I like a 10-day taper. That is the last period of time. 10 days is the last roughly time you're going to get any benefit from physical preparation. So from 10 days in, there's very little opportunity to make any improvements. So it's not the time to push yourself and get in that interval session or that hard long run, or that is past. It's now time to kind of let the body clear that long and short-term fatigue that you've been building over these last number of months and get into peak performance readiness for race day. And that's really what the taper is all about. So what I like to do in the last few days, in the week leading up to it, is do things like mental prep. It's a really good opportunity to practice visualization, crossing that finish line. Just picture yourself with your time on the clock. You know you've done the work. Now just believe that you can do it, and you will do it, right? So see the time on the clock, but also see yourself getting through the hard parts of the marathon. How are you going to get through those bits around 21, miles 22, where it gets really hard and the head starts to complain, and you start to doubt yourself and question yourself. And that's a really good opportunity to look back on our mindset motivation this week, which was take that one step more, just take it another step and another step. You used to always say, right, I'm just going to go to the next telephone pole, or I'm going to go to the next building or the next house, and
count my steps, whatever. Yeah.
So whatever it takes to get through to that next step, picture yourself doing this in your head before race day, and then on race day, when you do get to those points on the marathon, you've already figured out how you're going to get through it. You know you can get through it because you've already done it. So visualization is hugely important. Positive self-talk. So if you're training for a 3-hour and 59-minute marathon, maybe you're training for a 4-hour 59-minute marathon. When you get up in the morning, every single day before the feet hit the floor, I am a sub 5-hour marathoner, or I am a sub 4-hour marathoner, or I'm a sub 3-hour marathoner, or I'm a 3:30 marathoner. Whatever your goal is, whatever you trained for, that's an opportunity to just reinforce that you are that. You are that. You can do it. You will do it. So that's the positive self-talk.
Yeah, another thing is, I'm just coming off a week of sports massage with a lot of our marathon clients. So just remember, I keep telling us, remember that on marathon day, when you start, that you're at the finish line, or sorry, at the start line, that this is your last run for a while. When you get to that finish line, just think of the following weekend. You don't have to get up and go for your long run. So this is what you've been working for the last few months, and working hard and putting everything into it. And this is, what would you call it? This is the
grand finale.
Grand finale. This is what you've worked hard for. Just get to the start line and enjoy it. See yourself crossing the finish line with a smile on your face. Imagine that pint or whatever it is you're going to have at the finish, or imagine the following weekend where you don't have to get up for your long run, and just enjoy it, because you've worked so hard, and this is it. This is the final one. This is put everything you've got into it, and enjoy it, because you've worked so hard for it. And just
the saying goes, the marathon is run in those 16 weeks before it, and this is the celebration, right?
Yeah.
So consider yourself, you've completed the challenge. Now you just kind of have to put the icing on the cake, right?
Yeah.
That little dot over the I. But you have to be proud of the work you put in just to get there, and that's an accomplishment in itself.
Marathon day is the best part of the whole marathon training. The training is tough. Marathon day is, you're enjoying the support around you. You're all full of adrenaline. You're ready to go, and just enjoy. You just make the most of the day and take it all in.
Yeah. So awesome. That's kind of the mental prep. So keep positive self-talk, visualization, the affirmations, just totally believe it, get behind it, trust your training, trust yourself. Some of the other things to do. So I like to make sure we've got dinner reservations for the time, about a half an hour before the time that I want to eat. So over the course of my training, I have been fine-tuning my nutrition, my evening meal before my long run. And so I'm going to make my dinner reservation, and I'm going to make a dinner reservation because I don't want to show up at some crowded restaurant and have to, a 2-hour wait. That 2 hours is a big difference when your body has adapted to eating at a certain time the night before. You don't want any on-course surprises on marathon morning. So make your reservations for dinner. If you need to make arrangements for your breakfast, do that as well. And it's time to think about packing your race day bag, not just your clothes for before and after, but what you're going to wear on race day, and in your kit bag.
Don't rely on somebody else to pack your bag.
Yes.
Because they may they may pack the wrong.
So sometimes when your wife and you run for the same club and you have the same top, sometimes if you don't pack your own bag, you may wind up arriving on race day with a top that is about four sizes too small for you. Okay. And that's a hard-learned lesson, and you go around looking like a hobo when you cut the sleeves off of a t-shirt. But that's a different story. But it is true, you really need to pack your own bag. Make sure you work from the ground up. You've got your trainers, your socks, whatever. Your watch charger. But go up, right? And make sure you have everything. Yeah. And throwaways, right? Go to that charity shop or raid the cupboard. Get some warm clothes that you're going to get to the start line wearing, that you're going to throw away and donate to charity, because that's a key. You don't want to be starting out frozen solid, right?
Yeah. And Dublin can be cold this time of the year, and wet. So even I know a bin bag will keep you dry at the start line.
Yeah. Washington is going to be something similar. You could be very cold in the morning. Likely to warm up. Dublin as well. Going to warm up as the day goes on, but that start line is key.
And the other thing to think about in the last few days is trying to get some good sleep. So trying to get to bed a little bit earlier. The night before the marathon, you tend not to sleep. But as I say, it's the sleep the day before
Correct.
that
Yeah.
matters. Most of us don't sleep the night before a marathon. It's, you might think about what time you're getting up. You're just a little bit nervous. So the sleep the night before is usually fairly rough, but as long as you've got a few nights of good sleep this week, you'll be fine.
Yeah, and that's also key for repairing the body as well. So that's going to clear the fatigue. It's not only good sleep, just stay off of your feet when you can. Make good decisions, right? So if you've got, maybe you have a physical job at work, maybe you look after your family at home. It's a time to just say, all right, do I need to move that 40-pound bucket? Do I need to personally do this week? Can that, or can I do it smarter? Just
Or can you
make good
get a little bit
decisions.
of help
Yeah.
with the kids, or if you have a young child or whatever, that maybe you don't get a full night's sleep, just see if you can make some arrangements just to get a good night's sleep
Yeah.
in
And
the days leading up to it.
And at work, if you work in a close environment with other people and you hear some sneezing and coughing, get yourself out of that situation. You don't want to hit that start line, with a flu or a cold or anything like that. So make real good decisions. Be mindful of everything that you do this week because you put in so much work. It's time to just be a little bit selfish this week.
But it's also the time where you do get those phantom pains.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes with the territories, but don't get too worried about them.
Yeah.
It's just,
you'll be surprised what happens on race day morning. All of a sudden, everything just goes away, and you get into that rhythm. You get into the moment. The crowd lifts you. Your fellow runners will lift you. It's an amazing experience. Every single time I get to the start line of a marathon, it is just a rush of adrenaline, excitement. It's what I live for at the minute. So yeah. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, just about hydrating, how much you should be,
Oh, yes.
hydration
So
beforehand.
this is nutrition in general. So if you generally have a good hydration habit, keep it, right? So you want to start the day well hydrated. Your body functions much better when you're hydrated, no matter what you're trying to do, right? So that's just general good advice. Always, if you can aim for at least 2 liters of water a day, that's probably ideal.
Yes, don't chug a ton of water just before you take off. You're better off drinking a little bit extra the days before and sipping at it in the morning, but don't chug, because one of the things it can give you is a stitch sometimes if you chug the water too much beforehand, or you're going to have to use the bathroom halfway through, or so
little and often.
Top up little and often. Yeah.
And this actually leads to another thing. This is a real sore spot for me, is the whole carb loading. I don't know. I could go and talk about this for days, but
that's actually one of our question and answers, but we can jump into it now.
Oh, okay. All right.
Go ahead. You might as well.
Carb loading.
Yeah. How much is enough and how much is too much?
All right. You've gone through 16 weeks. You've had some really good long runs. You've had some good speed work. Why would you go about changing your nutrition, your eating habits now, right? In this 1 week. If you haven't done it throughout the whole entire training block, all you're going to do is cause stomach distress, right? So the general rule for me is change it a little bit. So if I'm getting 25% of my calories from protein throughout the training block, and say 45% of my calories from carbs, I might change that to go maybe 50% of my calories from carbs and slightly less protein and fats. But I'm not going to go from, a 2,200 calorie day up to a 3,500 calorie day. Like, that just to me is mind-boggling. And here's my question is, what do you think is going to happen if you don't eat an extra 800 grams of carbs? You know, I can't imagine consuming that much food in the week. I'd be I'd be a mess. I'd probably put on about 5 pounds of body weight. Um, it just it wouldn't sit well with me, and I don't really know why you would do it unless it's something you do on a regular basis. Your body has adapted to take that much, fuel on every week. If you've trained for that, then
and practice that.
Yeah, professional athletes, by the way, are a completely different story. They consume that kind of calorie count because they are active and they're actively, training really hard, and they're probably in, a 3,500 calorie day anyway, right? That's their normal diet. And then, when it comes to carb loading, it's more about timing than actually increasing the carb load. But just be mindful about what you're doing and don't change things drastically because it's a recipe for disaster. We see it all the time on the course. They have toilets along the way for a reason, and it's because people carb load. This is crude, but the more you carb load, the more you have to carb unload, right? It's just the way the body works. So keep that in mind. All right.
You want to talk about the website?
Yeah. Okay. So for the website, we've got a good slew of new plans coming on board next week. So more improvement plans. So 5K, 10K, half marathon improvement plans, and advanced plans. So more 5K, 10K, half marathon advanced plans. We already have the full range of marathon plans, but there's a bit more coming on that as well, with more fine tuning to the target paces for your plans, which I'm really excited about. We've also included more, let's see, we've got your tracking your PBs now, which is fairly new. Your scoring is more up to date. Your emails should be coming through with your plans, and we've really fine-tuned the plans with strength, mobility, and yoga workouts that will sit on a no-run day or a run day that is not a key session. So if it's an easy run, you may get a strength and conditioning routine workout as well. We've uploaded a bunch more videos, things like the dynamic warm-ups. We've added some uphill running techniques. These are in our YouTube channel, and we've got a page coming that will have all our video content on it for members. And so, yeah, there's a lot to be looking forward to.
One of the things that you had posted about during the week was how to, if you're finding that you're not improving with your running, you're kind of
stuck. Yeah. So this is another thing that I see a lot of people that have been running a while and they're not getting to that next level, or they can't shave off any time. And I think it's down to three things for the most part. Now, it could be 100 things. Every individual is different, but the three most common things that I see is not varying the training paces that you're doing. Okay, so the faster you want to run, the bigger the difference between your fast runs and your slow runs need to be. So if I'm trying to break 20 minutes for a 5K, my fast runs are going to be relatively fast, right? I need to be faster than 4K, 4 minutes per K for 5K. right? Makes sense. But my slow runs need to be way down here, right? They need to be really slow. That gap between the fast runs and the slow runs needs to be big. Otherwise, everything just lands in the middle, right? We're not able to run our fast runs fast enough because our slow runs are too fast, right? So make sure you have a big gap. And, so there should be a distinct difference between your long, slow run, your easy run, your steady run, and your hard efforts, right? There should be a big, distinct difference between each one.
How much of a difference would you put between your long, slow run and your...
It all depends. Is this my first 5K? If it's my first 5K, tiny. Right? Tiny. It's not as important. Like I said at the beginning, the faster you want to run, the bigger the gap. So if it's a 10K and you're trying to run, say, 50 minutes for 10K, that's 10K at 5 minutes per K. You may find that your fast efforts, your hard efforts might be at, 4:30 for shorter distances, and your slow runs might be 6 minutes per K, right? If we're talking miles, to run a 50-minute 10K, that is about an 8-minute mile. Is that right? I think ish. Yeah, right around there. So your slow runs might be, a 10-minute mile, and your fast runs might be a 7-minute mile. So there's a big, distinct difference between your 10-minute mile and your 7-minute mile. So the faster you want to run, the bigger the gap. Okay. The second thing is all about consistency, right? There's nothing beats consistency when it comes to running, and a lot of sports and other things, right? If you practice makes perfect, well, in running, consistency is key. So if you're getting out 3 days a week, try to get out for a 4th day a week, right? Consistency and frequency is really key. So doesn't necessarily mean that you need to get out, 7 days a week, right? But if you're getting out 4 days a week, maybe try to get out for 5 runs, right? That could be a double someday, right? Or it can be, that 5th day, it could be whatever. Just more often is going to be key, and consistency every week, right?
Your body or your muscles adapt to whatever challenges.
That's correct, and that's
under, so you have to challenge them. If you do the same old, you'll get the same old. So you gotta challenge your body.
Yeah, and then kind of the next hardest thing that people don't do is, some people are at the opposite end of the spectrum. So some people aren't going out enough, and then some people are going out too much, and they don't take rest days. And a rest day isn't going to the gym and pushing up heavy weights, right? A rest day is a rest day. Let your body clear some of that short-term fatigue. Get it ready for that next hard session, right? So there's no run days, and no run days can have strength and conditioning work. When it comes to a rest day, it should be a proper rest day. Now, rest days can have some stretching, yoga type of work, but nothing that's going to cause adaptation and tear the muscle down, right? So just keep it low intensity, right? So those are my 3 top tips for anyone looking to make improvements that have been training hard but don't seem to be getting anywhere.
Okay.
Right?
So Q&A?
Q&A.
Now, Mark was asking about the carb loading, so I think we've covered that.
Yeah, I think I've covered that, Mark. I hope if you have any specific questions about carb loading, let me know, but that's how I feel about it. I just wouldn't change things that I have practiced week in and week out for my entire block.
Right. We have one from Lisa, who's finished her beginner couch to 5K. So well done, Lisa.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
And doing your Couch to 5K, completing that, and she's obviously caught the bug because she's straight on to her improvement, to the improvement 5K plan. So she's very excited to keep up with her running, and she's currently on the 4-day plan, our 4-day improvement plan, but she says, I'd love to do a 5th day.
Okay.
What could she do?
Yeah, excellent. So that's a really, really good question. And that gets into that consistency and frequency thing that we talked about. So if you've got, the plan will have different types of running on it, right? And that's the beauty of the improvement plan over the Couch to 5K is we add in a lot more variety to the run or to the running, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. So I would just recommend that if you are going to go out for an additional day to our improvement plan, first of all, it should be an easy run, okay? Easy pace, and do it on a day after one of the key sessions, which is, maybe it's a interval session or a hill session, yeah, or tempo or progression. Do it after a day like that, because then it acts more like a recovery run where you're getting more blood flow in and kind of getting the body ready for the next day. So it's, yeah, I would just say an easy run after a hard run.
Okay, so that's Lisa. Moving on to our 5 days.
Yeah. Good luck.
Right, so the other one was Barry, who has purchased a pair of carbon plated shoes, and he's wondering what type of runs should he use these shoes for? How should he work those into his shoe rotation?
Yeah, excellent question, Barry. So carbon plated shoes, there's a few different things to take into account here. These are probably going to be your race shoes. So I would recommend you don't wear these too often, right? If you have bought these for a specific target race, I would use these specifically for that race, and I don't think I would use it for much more than maybe 3 or 4 runs in that 8-12 week block.
Try them out a little bit.
Try them out a bit, but use them for fast runs only. So for me, I like to have a pair of my fast shoes so that when I put these shoes on, I know I am planning on running fast and I will run fast. But if it isn't a particular target race and you just want to use these for training and racing, I would use them every now and again. I would use them for the occasional long run, the occasional hard run. I would avoid them on the track, funny enough, because carbon plated shoes on a track, particularly a tartan track where it's, you get a lot of return, you get in return from the track and the shoes, and that is an injury risk because you are turning those legs over faster than you are used to, a lot faster and more quick than your body is probably capable of in some instances. I would probably avoid them on the track, but if you are going to use them on the track, keep your target paces in mind and don't overcook it. Okay, you will be able to overcook it, but get into those.
Slightly a false sense of.
Yeah, so get into that pace with non-plated shoes first, and then gradually, work yourself into that pace in your normal training. So it's fun. If you've never used carbon plated shoes, it can be fun. It is a different feel. You do get the return. Some of them
takes a little bit of getting used to.
It does, yeah. You'd notice it the first time you put them on and you're walking around. It just doesn't feel normal, but they are fun, and it's a lot of.
But keeping them for your race shoes is just you mentally believe when you put these shoes on, whether it's true or not. And if it's in your head and you believe you can run faster, you will run faster.
Yeah,
because
magic.
Your brain power is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Awesome.
Questions anyway. Yeah.
Okay, if you have any questions, go to the members profile page and use the Q&A form and ask us any running related stuff you want. And until next time, believe and achieve, and we will catch you then.
Okay, bye for now.
All right.